the sidewalk on the way to the feed store, that he lived in such an intentional way, so aware of the relationships that came into his presence, that whenever he bumped into another human being, his question was, how do I make a positive difference in this person's life? So that person never left him in neutral, but somehow moved. And that was a real challenge to me. And I think as you go along, whether you have people that are with you for years or only for minutes, are you aware and so in the present with the purpose that God has called us to make a difference in the lives of people, that whether it's a few words or years of investment, you're striving to make a difference. That's living purposefully. The second thing about Charlie was his sense of identity. How he looked at himself. When I'm in the business arena talking about leadership, there's all kinds of ideas about what the identity of a leader is. And something over the last few years that's made the circles is this whole idea of servant leadership. And that was very interesting to me, but my concern about the thing was that people were grabbing this whole thing about servant leadership as if it was one more tool to add to their tool chest about how to be a leader. And it was confirmed one day when I asked the CEO, I said, well, what if this stuff doesn't work? Then he says, then we'll do something else. And I thought that kind of betrays their understanding of what it really means. Charlie didn't view himself as a servant leader. He just viewed himself as a servant who had been given the privilege of leading. And he'd remind me over and over, he said, Dan, he said, this is incredible. God has given us the privilege of serving people of infinite and eternal worth. Isn't that unbelievable? And what it did was it reminded me of a phrase from an essay by C.S. Lewis, where Lewis himself says, we live in the company of immortals. He said, the arts, the civilizations, the great accomplishments of men, they're like a man or a bug or an insect compared to these immortals. It's immortals that we live with, that we work with, that we laugh with, that we love, that we eat with. We live in the companies of immortals. And what a privilege to serve them. And so think about that. What would change in our world as when we walk out from here and we go back to our places of study and our work and we're walking the streets, we're overwhelmed with the conviction that the people that are passing by us, the people that are serving us a meal, the people that we talk to on the phone are immortals, made in the image of God, and to be overwhelmed with the privilege of serving them. Then the third thing about Charlie was his vision. Again, in my work, we talk a lot about vision. Vision of organization, the vision of leaders. And oftentimes that idea of vision is the guy that can see far into the future, see the broad scope of things, see the minute details of things. But Charlie didn't have that kind of vision. He had something that I call 3G vision. And 3G vision, I think, is maybe it's best illustrated this way, in the way I've been trying to raise my kids. 3G vision means third generation vision. If I'm a first 1G generation leader, then, or parent, then my expectations is that by the time my kids graduate from high school, I'm satisfied if, look, they do as they're told, they know how to dress themselves and not embarrass us, and basically they don't get in our way. And there's a lot of organizational leaders that think that way about the people that work for them. Look, if you just do as you're told and don't embarrass us and you don't have hygiene problems, opportunity to interact with my kids as it goes along, I'm thinking about what it is that I'm building into them, with the result that when they step out, they're this kind of a person. But Charlie, I said, had 3G vision. And here's how that looks like in parenting terms. Something happens. I'm talking to Andrew. But I'm thinking, how do I take this moment to invest in Andrew and build in him in such a way that my grandkids are walking with God and that they're great husbands and wives, moms, dads, and employers and citizens and neighbors. Now, I process that same thing today a little differently because I'm building a different foundation. And yet, isn't that the genius of the way the Scriptures are encouraging us to minister to one another, so that a generation that we can't see is being impacted? So building that multiplier factor is not a matter of programming. It's not a matter of discipline. It is a matter of how you process the everyday interactions and conversations that you have with people and build in such people so that your grandkids are doing the right thing. Those are the things to invest in. Investing in people, making that kind of difference. Tozer himself says, no Christian has the right to give himself to things that rot, rust, consume, or die. You're just too valuable to do that. Purpose, identity as a servant, 3G vision. And I think that if you'll do that, then I think you're well on your way. And I thought I had it wrapped up until about a month later when Case Wolf came and called me. She came to town on a women's retreat. This is Charlie's wife. And she called me up and said, hey, can we get together for coffee? So I said, sure. Hey, I hadn't seen her since the service. So we rendezvoused at the Village Inn down in Garden of the Gods, and I was a little bit late getting there. But as I walked in the door, Kay got up from her table and came briskly walking across the restaurant to me and gave me this big bear hug. And then just with tears in her eyes, she looked at me and she said, Dan, Charlie loves you so much. It really struck me that we can have vision and we can do all of these other things, but if it's not wrapped up in that kind of genuine love for people, 1 Corinthians 13 is right. All that activity is for naught. So no matter what you're doing in discipling, at the end of the day, do you really love them that way?